We're talking about factoring polynomials, and when we factor polynomials, the reason that we want to do that is because we want to find the zeros. And so we have a couple polynomials listed over here on the left, and we want to talk about the degree of the polynomial and how many zeros to expect. So the first one we can see is 3x, or 3/4 x minus 1. And if we turn that graph on, we can see that we have a linear function, and we have one of the zeros is at 1 1/3. And that's basically where we cross the x-axis. We notice that the degree of the linear function is 1, and so we see that it only crosses one time. The next one we see is a quadratic function, and we have x squared minus 3x plus 2. And unlike the linear function, where the linear function only crosses once, here we can see that the quadratic function crosses twice. And if we click on this graph, we see that we have 1 0 is at 1 0, and the other one is at 2 0. So that would be the factored form for that quadratic function. If we made it a negative, that changes the way that the graph looks, and we have the zeros are now at negative 3.562 and 0.562. But in this case, we still have two zeros. In this case, they're both real. The next one we come to is a cubic. Now, the degree on the cubic is 3. So we should expect that the graph crosses the x-axis 3 times, or we should be looking for 3 zeros. And here we have 3 zeros. We have one of them's at negative 1 0. The next one's at 3 0. And then we have another one at 5 0. So because the lead coefficient is positive, we're going to start down and we're going to work our way up. The same way that when we had a positive slope, we started down and worked our way up. When we have a positive odd function, we're going to start down and work our way to go up. If we have a negative, now we're starting up here, we're coming down, working our way here, and going all the way down to the bottom. So that would be similar to a negative slope where we start high and work our way low. The next one we come to has a 4th degree. And so we should expect 4 zeros. So we're starting up, we come down, we cross once, and every inflection point is also going to be one of our zeros. And in this case, we have 2 imaginary that don't actually cross. This one only has 2 real roots, one at 1 0 and one at negative 3 0, and then we have 2 imaginary. And the last one we're going to look at is we have a 5th root with a positive degree. So we're going to start low and work our way to go high, and we should expect 5 zeros. So we're starting low, working our way up. But again, we only have 3. We have one of them at negative 5 0. We have one of them at 5 0. And then we actually have a triple root at 0 0. So that means that this has an inflection point right on the x-axis, and that represents a triple root there.